Welcome to the show, folks. I'm your host, Tyler Wilson, and today we're going to be having an interview with Shane Porter, owner of Cold Crush, the most winningest team in league history. He's currently sitting on the bubble of 49 wins, one away from legendary 50. He's got several other records under his belt, including longest winning streaks with 10 wins. He also has the biggest win in a single individual game. He scored 100 points for more than his opponent, which was Red Army back in the day. He's also had the most wins in a season with 19, and of course we can't forget about his two championships in 07, 08, 08, 09. Of course last year he did end up bowing out to the new champion Team Punishment, but still had a respectable season, making it all the way to the semifinals. So without a further ado, let's welcome the two-time champion Shane Porter to the show. Welcome to the show, Shane.
What up, y'all?
Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate that. So we're obviously here to talk about your team today, how it's come and gone from the 07 draft to where it is today, and what you think about the upcoming season. As I was saying a little bit before you got here, you are the most winning team of all time in our league. You have 49 wins. That's two more than JR Sharks has. They're the second most team. They're at 47 wins, but you're the first one that can hit 50. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a definite milestone, and I think it's a compliment to my GM skills, and I'm definitely going to be very excited to be the first team to hit 50, which I hope will be in week 1. Get it over with.
Well, I definitely wish you all the best of luck in hitting 50 wins in week 1 there, as long as you're not playing me. It could be a little bit difficult to do that as you are going through a bit of a rebuild mode, which is a little bit surprising considering you've never finished worse than a semi-final appearance. Tell us a bit about your rebuild mode and what spurred that on.
Well, I felt my team was getting older, and I didn't feel my team can compete at a high level anymore. So I decided to rebuild, get youth. Basically, I wanted to coincide with the way the NHL is leaning towards, and the NHL is leaning towards younger players, promoting younger players at an early age, and basically being poster boys for the NHL. And I wanted to coincide with that and scoop up some young players before the rest of the league smells wind of it.
Well, you've definitely gone out and done that. You grabbed a plethora of young talent through the NHL's draft, selecting through the GHL, the Grooves Hockey League. You had the first and second pick. You ended up with the 4th pick, netting Ekman Larson. I think personally Cam Fowler fell far in the NHL draft. Not so much in our draft, but definitely was a great selection. And Jack Campbell's going to be a winner. I don't think he's going to be a miss at all. He's going to be a steal in Windsor, and when he finally comes up to the end, I think we're going to see a prime candidate, probably Jonathan Bernier, years away, but still a great selection. What I really want to talk about at this point in time is TNT, Taylor Hall and Tyler Seguin. Let's start with Hall. You traded away a lot to get him. You traded away Mike Camilleri, Chris Pronger, all for a first overall pick. We've seen a lot in the 90s. Alexander Daigle come up as first overall picks and turn out to be busts. We haven't really seen that too much anymore. Are you confident with the scouting of the NHL, and are you that much confident in Taylor Hall that he's the real deal? I personally think he is, but you must have as well to pay the price you did. Tell us a little about that.
Well, yeah, it has been shown in the past year, these last couple of years, where the scouting has just been immaculate, and you know, when a player is usually dubbed, they're bang on.
Well, I'd have to agree with you there about the scouting and most #1 picks being great overall. What kind of impact do you think each one of these players can have, specifically Tyler Seguin?
My expectations for Hall is awesome.
But Seguin, not so much.
Not so much, just because unless he gets top line action in Boston, which I don't know if he's gonna. He's also a year younger than Hall. Like, he's almost a full year younger than Hall. We'll give him another year to grow.
Plus, he never even made a World Junior Canadian.
That's what I mean. Like, but that was a snub. Like, that was sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That never should have happened, and Canada didn't win.
It's true, they didn't.
Right?
Do you think if Seguin was on the team, they would have won?
I think definitely. That guy's fucking. He had 106 points. The next player on his team had like 56 or something like that.
He did account for something like 43 or 47% of his team's points.
When's the last time that's been done? I mean, I know Hall played with some pretty wicked players on his team. That's why he got 106 points. But who the fuck fed Seguin the puck?
Fair enough.
You know?
Well, I think really when you talk about either one of these players, you're talking about franchise players. And I hate to just throw that term around, especially with an owner like you who has actually traded away every single player on his original drafted team from the '07 draft, with the exception of Rick Nash, taken 9th round, 103rd overall, and Dennis Weidman. Is Rick Nash a franchise player?
Franchise player, that is a tag. Only one player per team will get.
It is a big tag, isn't it?
And I believe that Rick Nash is my franchise player. I think he is an untouchable player for me. It's very apparent because he has not moved off my roster since the very beginning in the draft in 2007.
Now, untouchable is a big word. When you say untouchable, is he untouchable like Patrick Kane is, or like Sidney Crosby is? Would you consider him that untouchable?
I believe he's very untouchable. It would take a deal to really knock my socks off, so to speak, to get rid of a franchise player.
That's fair to say. Now, a lot of people may laugh at this because, of course, you had Evgeny Malkin. So, wouldn't you consider him a type of franchise player? You ended up shipping him off, I know, for Chris Pronger. Why trade a player of that caliber away to begin with?
Well, I needed to assess my team's needs, and at the time when I traded away Malkin back in the first year of the season, my team needed defense, and I had to address that need, and I won a championship that year when I addressed my need for defense.
So, what was the thinking then behind bringing Malkin back?
Well, basically, I wanted to add a young forward, a young dynamic forward in Malkin to my team to build off for the future. I have a couple of young defensemen coming up through my system, which I could afford to get rid of a veteran presence such as Pronger. Pronger has been a great acquisition.
With Pronger, you actually traded Pronger away for draft picks. It was actually Markov you traded away along Plekanec and Franzen. Plekanec is a decent player in his own right, but Franzen's a useless bag of pucks. I personally think you got the better end of that deal, so kudos there. I thought it was kind of weird when you first traded away, but hey, you won championships, and you need some veterans to do that for you, especially a couple veterans named Ilya Bergarlov and household name Martin Brodeur, the two goaltenders that basically won your two championships. I don't think anyone in the league would disagree with that. You traded them away this summer for a bunch of prospects in TJ Oshie and a couple goaltenders in Varlamov and Neuvirth. Really the big name there that you got back, though, was Carey Price, the starter of the Montreal Canadiens. Tell me about your acquisitions of these young players.
These young players that I acquired are going to be tremendous, acquisitions to our team. I think that Varlamov will be their franchise goalie if he can stay healthy. I think that he's a big and he's an agile goalie, and he's perfect for today's NHL. Carey Price, as you know, won the job over Halak. Maybe it might have been a money issue, maybe not. Seems like.
Now, with that being said, Price still isn't signed yet, is he? He hasn't signed yet, has he?
He's a restricted free agent.
Right, he's still restricted, but he still hasn't signed the contract to play for the team. He can show up at training camp, but until he's signed, he can't start the season. So, is there any concern there that Price might not sign with Montreal after being booed and jeered like he was in the Boston series a couple years ago? Right.
I do believe that if their intentions were not to sign Price, that they would have signed Halak in that direction.
Fair enough. We're running short on time here. I definitely appreciate you coming over and taking the time to talk here. Quick prediction, where do you finish this year?
I think 7th or 8th spot is a rational decision based on if my players that underachieved last year can produce what they should be producing. I feel that my team could easily squeak into the playoffs in the 7th or 8th spot.
Well, good luck with that. I think as a rebuilding team, you have one of the better chances, and good luck making the playoffs. Two-time champion Shane Porter, everybody. And, of course, thank you all for listening. I've been your host, Tyler Wilson. Talk to you all later.
Good. Yeah, a little bit bad health. He have lots of score, just not score. Just empty left. It's okay, he learned summer. No, I like play with him. It's lots of emotions, skate, and he play all game, not stop.
He is a funny guy, and it's kind of obvious when he's going to carve somebody because he goes right from English right into Russian, so you can't understand it. But that's one side that I don't really think people understand. I think everybody thinks he's kind of a quiet guy, but he's got a great sense of humor to him. Yeah.
All I want is your understanding, as in a small act of affection. Why is this smile?